keys today. Thank you. You got a little card, Jim?
Receive the report. Report.
Opposed!
Report.
Secretary, 11 absent.
Fantastic.
Attention to orders. 146 Coral Cadets at Georgia Military College in Millersville, Georgia. Uniform today is Class A parade. Uniform tomorrow is no change. Word of the week is integrity. Assigned to Cadet Lieutenant Colonel Gordon Hatcher, commanding your unit to present arms.
Present! Arms!
Present arms. Ladies and gentlemen, please stand for reveille. For our guests in uniform and our veterans as desired, please render a hand salute. For our other guests, please place your right hand over your heart. Order!
Order!
Arms! Parade!
Parade!
Rest! Pause for a moment of silence! Regiment!
Battalion!
Attention! Prepare for regimental accolades!
Answer above all men!
3 words to live by!
To your defense, man!
Center!
Center!
Stay! Present!
Present!
Arms! Sound reveille! Order!
Order!
Arms! Center!
Center!
Stay! Ladies and gentlemen,
Parade!
rest! Please be seated. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Cadet Callie Waters, and I will serve as today's Master of Ceremony. On behalf of our host, Colonel Nelson Craft, Senior Vice President of Georgia Military College, I would like to welcome you to Georgia Military College and our observance of Peace Officers Memorial Day. We are honored to have many special guests with us today as we honor peace officers. We would like to extend a special welcome to Chairman of the GMC Board of Trustees, Mr. George Hogan, Board of Trustees member, Mayor Mary Parham Copeland, and all local officials here with us today. In October of 1962, President John F. Kennedy signed Joint Resolution 730 into public law, declaring that May 15th would hereafter be Peace Officers Memorial Day in the United States. This day is observed in recognition of the service given by the men and women who night and day stand guard in our midst to protect us. 2 members of our GMC family have perished while standing guard in our midst. Today, we honor GBI Special Agent in Charge, John Sonny King, and Baldwin County Deputy Sheriff, William E. Robinson IV. Since we last gathered in May 2024, 129 peace officers have perished nationwide, including 3 in the state of Georgia. Among those are 2 deputy sheriffs and 1 police officer. This morning, we are honored to have with us men and women who serve and protect our community as police officers, firefighters, and emergency medical personnel, our first responders, those who run toward the sound of violence, into burning buildings, and use their medical skills and knowledge to save our lives when we are in peril. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for your service to our community. At this time, Colonel Kraft will welcome and introduce our guest speaker, Mr. Christopher E. Hosey, Director of the Georgia Bureau of Investigation.
On behalf of our Chairman of our Board of Trustees, Mr. George Hogan, and our 21st President of Georgia Military College, General Caldwell, welcome to Georgia Military College, and thank you for your presence as we honor all peace officers during this Police Week, and most importantly, memorialize those peace officers who sacrificed their lives to protect our families and safeguard our communities. It is my honor to introduce this morning's speaker. Chris Hosey was appointed by Governor Kemp to serve as Director of the Georgia Bureau of Investigation in August 2023. During his 38 years with the Bureau, Director Hosey was promoted to every sworn supervisor rank in the investigative unit division. Director Hosey began his career with GBI in 1987 as a narcotics agent, and from there went on to serve as Assistant Special Agent in Charge, Special Agent in Charge, Inspector, Division Director, GBI Assistant Director, and of course now as the Director of GBI. Director Hosey serves as Vice President for the National Alliance of State Drug Enforcement Agencies and chairs the Use of Force Committee of the Association of State Criminal Investigative Agencies. Director Hosey received his bachelor's degree in sociology from Georgia Southwestern State University and his master's degree in public administration from Columbus State University. He is a graduate of the FBI National Academy, Class 247. Please join me in a warm welcome for Director Chris Hosey.
Good morning, and thank you for that introduction, Colonel. I want to just thank everybody for the appreciation I have for being here this morning to address you with some words. I also want to thank, obviously, General Caldwell and the Board of Trustees here at Georgia Military College, and had a great dinner last night with General Caldwell, and I appreciate, again, being asked to be here this morning. It's a great honor. I know also that in the midst of our crowd this morning, we have law enforcement agency heads from around the state. I appreciate what they do each and every day in helping keep our state safe. Many law enforcement officers are here with us today, state and local. Thank you for what you do. It is an honor to serve alongside you in this state, and I just appreciate what you do each and every day. For everyone else here, we thank you for your support. For our law enforcement community, also our first responders around this state. It is again an honor to serve next to them, and it is an honor to serve in a state where we are appreciated. My belief is for what we do in keeping Georgia safe. National Police Week was created to pay tribute to local, state, and federal law enforcement officers who protect our communities, our state, and our nation with courage and dedication. Peace Officer Memorial Day observes law enforcement officers who have served and made the ultimate sacrifice in performing their duty and keeping the citizens of this state and our nation safe. Since the first line of duty death in 1786, more than 24,000 U.S. officers have made the ultimate sacrifice, and on an average, currently, one law enforcement officer is killed in the line of duty every 72 hours or every 3 days. Since January 1st, as it was mentioned earlier, There have been 25 line of duty deaths in the United States so far this year, and unfortunately we have had 3 officers die in the line of duty here in our great state of Georgia. Police Officer Jeremy Labonte of the Roswell Police Department died on February 7th when he was shot and killed while responding to a suspicious person. Captain Helio Armando Garcia of South Fulton Police Department died on February 16th. He was killed when his patrol car was struck by another vehicle. Deputy Brandon Ray Sykes of the Columbia County Sheriff's Office died on April 26th when he was shot and killed during a traffic stop near Augusta. This past Monday at GBI headquarters, we recognized and remembered the 9 GBI agents that made the ultimate sacrifice in the service of our great state. Similarly, across our country and state, ceremonies like that and like this one here today are taking place to recognize the fallen in this great profession. The National Police Memorial in Washington, D.C. records the names of 884 local, state, and federal officers who died in the performance of their duties. Our Georgia officers who are represented there died in ambushes, traffic pursuits, making arrests, and other line of duty incidents. While we are here today to honor the fallen, we cannot forget those that continue to serve our great state and nation. Let us also acknowledge the danger that officers face each and every day. In 2023, there were 79,091 assaults against law enforcement that resulted in 22,063 injuries. In 2024, the GBI investigated 85 officer-involved shootings, and as of April 30th of this year, that number is now 24. As law enforcement officers, we know that police work is dangerous. Beyond the statistics that I mentioned, the evidence is in plain view. Officers carry firearms, they wear body armor, they train rigorously to protect themselves while doing this job. So why do men and women join this profession, which is dangerous, often very low salaries, very emotional and draining, not appreciated at times the way that they should be for the work that they do? Why are they in a profession where many have died and will die? Why did the men and women who we honor here today become law enforcement officers and give their lives in the performance of their duties? I believe that desire and that will to perform that job begins at the day they take their oath of office. The oath of office that they take is a tremendous commitment and responsibility, but it's got to be more than just words on a page. They represent commitment, sacrifice, service, and purpose. They are the guidelines that they are then sworn to uphold and live by as a police officer. There is no exception and there is no expiration. At that point, once that oath is completed, the journey for that officer begins. We must understand as citizens of this state that we are in a career of public service. The citizens of Georgia rely on us to protect them, solve crimes committed against them and their loved ones, and to recognize and address the evils that exist before them, before it ever crosses the threshold from the unknown. Sacrifice becomes a way of life. We carry the burden of sacrifice when asked, and when we truly understand our mission, sacrifice becomes instinctive, and then no burden exists. In public service, which I also refer to as leadership, regardless of the profession, we will succeed when we recognize that it's not about us, but it's about the people we serve. It's a career that is based on problem solving and decision making. Unfortunately, our world revolves around decisions of mankind. Mankind makes these decisions, whether to take another life, abuse a child, traffic a human, be associated with a gang, to rob or steal, to manufacture, distribute, sell, or consume illegal drugs. As a servant of this state and its citizens, these men and women in law enforcement take an oath to pursue a darkness that only a few are willing to pursue and moreover understand. We must define our purpose and determine our why. We need each of you here today and those that continue in this profession to be leaders regardless of your experience or your rank. It will be our character as an individual that will define our life and career, just as it has defined the heroes we honor here today. They died doing something they believe in. They died protecting their citizens. They died upholding the Constitution of the United States, and they died enforcing the rule of law. These men and women that made the ultimate sacrifice and those that continue to do the job across this state do nothing from selfish ambition or conceit, but in humility they have counted others more significant than themselves. They look not only to their own interests, but also to the interests of others. They were servants, that is the shepherd, one that will do anything for the sake of his sheep, to include laying down their life, and for that we are eternally grateful. I read this morning in an article I was looking at while waiting to come here this morning, and there was simple words written in it that I jotted down in my notes here to read to you today. And it said, true greatness is found in serving others. That's what those men and women have done. That's what our men and women across this great state and nation will continue to do. And those that we recognize here today, let us not forget they are all heroes, and we must never, never forget them. Thank you very much. It was an honor to be here to speak to you this morning. Thank you.
In memory of those who have perished in the line of duty and in honor of those who continue to serve and protect, Georgia Military College will lay a wreath at the campus flagpole. Laying our wreath this morning are Mr. Christopher E. Hosey and GMC Chairman of the Board of Trustees, Mr. George Hogan. They are accompanied by the Senior Vice President of Georgia Military College, Colonel Nelson Craft. At the conclusion of our ceremony this morning, the wreath will be moved to Memory Hill Cemetery and placed at the grave of Deputy William E. Robinson. Ladies and gentlemen, please stand and remain standing for the firing of our World War II 75mm Pack howitzer, the playing of taps, and the recitation of our cadet prayer. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Cadet Jude Rayburn as he recites our cadet prayer.
Please bow your head and join me in prayer. Almighty God, General of all life's forces, Commander of nature, we praise thy holy name. Visit thy presence upon us and all former GMC cadets. Reinforce us in our quest for knowledge, integrity, and leadership. Instill in us humanitarianism and bless our enemy, whoever he might be. Extinguish from our daily lives greed and envy, and make us champions of right and ladies and gentlemen of honor. May we glorify thy name in victory and be courageous in defeat. Help us ever to think first of our comrades, secondly of ourselves, and always of Thee. Guide our footsteps and cleanse our minds. May we be first in the service of our country and first in Thy service. Lead us, O Lord, that we might lead. Amen.
Ladies and gentlemen, this concludes our formal observance of Peace Officers Memorial Day. We ask all of our peace officers and first responders present today to please join us in the Bulldog Room for refreshments.